Next we have Morgan Fluler, and we need another topic.
Thoughts and meditations of the common earthworm.
Thoughts and meditations of the common earthworm.
Yes, thoughts and meditations of the common earthworm. I am here today to chat with you. Thank you so much for having me. I am Dr. Margot Smith. I teach at an unnamed university, and I've been doing lots of studies on earthworms. Let's get started. Staring at walls, written entirely by me, Dr. Margot Smith. Next slide, please. Yes, staring at walls. Through the many studies I have done on earthworms, I have found that 95% of their day is spent staring at walls, which feels non-productive. But guess what? Sometimes you stare at walls, and then a brilliant idea comes to you, such as disintegrating books. When's the last time you went to a library? A year? 2 years? 3 years? I know I haven't seen one in a while, except for the university library. But I'll tell you, more and more bookshelves are being taken out and replaced with computers. Next slide, please. Now, what does this have to do with anything? Well, I'm going to tell you. When you stare at a wall long enough, it starts to look like this. Now, your brain. This represents your brain. This represents an earthworm's brain. They can only see neutrals, and they think in neutrals. Meanwhile, this is what the brain looks like of an earthworm combined with a human. Now, I don't have time to get into how this happened today, but I will be hosting a free lecture at the university next week, so please come and join that. It's free, but I do take donations. I'm a little short on cash right now. Okay, next slide. I thought that child was waving at me, but they weren't. Okay, embrace the chapters you've written, for they pave the way to the unwritten masterpiece of your future. This was written by that child that waved at me. He is a prolific child. Okay, embrace the chapters you've written. Now that sounds like a book. But can I tell you that book is not on a shelf anywhere? Next slide, please. That book was written entirely on a computer. It was not printed. And the computer was hand-delivered by this horse. And these two gentlemen cosplaying. They were supposed to be cosplaying as earthworms, but there was a miscommunication. I didn't have their numbers, and they had these uniforms lying around, so it was just convenient. But I learned something that day. I didn't stare at a wall long enough before I sent that text message. Next slide, please. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Why is the Publix logo down there? Well, I'll tell you. I said I teach at the local university, and I didn't say what I teach though. I'm a professor of ceramics. That's not what's important here. This creature wandered into my office one day during my office hours, and he said, I could not get a scholarship to attend here because I am not a human. And I work at Publix and I don't make enough to pay the tuition. And I said, you know what? You can take every class of mine for free. And we'll see what we can do about the rest. But you gotta stare at some walls. And I need a hard commitment on that. Next slide, please. And he's doing great, by the way. In conclusion, there are people in this world that would tell you, to drink kombucha and don't have ice cream. And I would say, I'm a doctor, and I'm telling you, don't do that. Have ice cream. Have your ice cream. Stare at walls. Study earthworms. And you will be able to see through those walls.